Hello everybody, we're doing another car vlog because I kind of felt like it's been a little while since I've done this, couple of weeks now I think. Not that it's been a really long time or anything. We're in the back in the same place as before because it's a nice spot to just kind of park and not really be bothered by anybody really. Because mostly the cars that are parked here are from a second-hand car lot. They tend to park them out here because they got tons of cars and they need to be able to get to them, I guess, when somebody wants to go for a test drive. Anyway, so it's Wednesday right now. Well, when you see this, it's going to be Saturday, but right now when we're recording, it's Wednesday because I decided to go to the secondhand store on a Wednesday for a change, because I can do that now that I have a 30-hour work week instead of a 36. So I am off work usually around 2, and I work from home a lot, so by the time that I am done, I'm just sitting there and have a good chunk of the afternoon still available, so that's always nice. So I just decided to go and check out the store at different times, different days. Also because it's usually quieter in the middle of the week, and on Saturdays and Fridays also in particular. For some reason, Fridays is more busy than Saturdays sometimes. There's just a lot of people, and I just don't like it because particularly now they have to try and keep distance, which nobody really does, but you know, people get annoyed if you stand around for too long in a certain spot, and there's a lot of stuff there that I want to look at, so I want to have a little bit of extra time to look at things, so there's that. Anyway, a few weeks ago I did a video like this, and I was talking about the economy and stuff like that, and I was talking about this real estate group in China called Evergrande and how they might default. And that has actually happened in the meantime. It's happened, I think it happened last week sometime or other, which is kind of strange because the Chinese government had actually called the owner, the CEO, to them to talk about basically selling all of his assets, which he was already doing because they had ordered him to sell all of his stuff and use that to pay the bond money, to pay the debt. In other words, that whenever a bunch of bonds needed to be paid to bondholders, he was supposed to pay that from his own pocket because the company itself is completely bankrupt and they only have his debt really. So that's the thing. But they didn't pay on time after all one of the bonds, even though he was selling a lot of stuff, liquidating lots of assets. He has all sorts of things, or had all sorts of things, different buildings, I'm pretty sure, of his own, and also he had a soccer team. Although he didn't have that personally, he used the money of the company to actually buy that and pay for that, so that wasn't a great move, but okay, he did a couple more things like that. So he was a bit of a fanciful character, the CEO, and but he had been selling his own stuff as well, so everybody expected them to make those payments and just be safe for another few weeks maybe, because there's usually like a couple of days to a couple of weeks between bond payments that need to be made. So that didn't work out this time. So now I believe they're working on figuring out what they're going to do with all this debt. I haven't exactly heard too much about it in the past few days. Well, just more of the same, like that they defaulted and stuff like that, and that it was unexpected and blah blah blah, but not too much like what's going to happen now with the people who own stocks, or bonds rather, who are not in China. But I think the expectation is that everybody who owns a bond and who is not in China or Chinese is probably not going to get any of that money back, or at least very little, and very late probably. You're going to be at the end of the line if you want to wait in line to get your bond money, and you may not get it at all. But one of the positive things, I guess positive in the sense for the Chinese people themselves, is that the Chinese government has taken over the building projects that Evergrande had undertaken, because a lot of people bought apartments and stuff like that from real estate projects that they were working on and that were never finished. So a lot of people put their livelihood, their savings into buying this real estate that they were hoping they could use to sell later down the line for a bit extra money, because there's not much that you can invest in China that's reasonably safe, except for real estate. At least it used to be that real estate was one of the only safe havens that you could actually put your money into in China. But yeah, so the people that were buying are using all the money from their own savings accounts and that of their family members. They were initially afraid that they're never going to get to take ownership of these apartments and that they would never be able to get their money back. So those people may at least at one point have a apartment that they own and then possibly can also sell to try and get their money back or something. So that's a positive, I guess, from this whole situation with the Chinese government taking over the Evergrande projects. Other Chinese real estate groups are going to have the same problems if they haven't already defaulted, because they all kind of worked along the same way. Basically, they would say, oh, we're going to make this a whole new bunch of apartments or something, and then when they would first get people to buy them, and then they would try to have it built. And if they couldn't do that, then yeah, the project would just fail. But they also did a whole bunch of other stuff that didn't really have anything to do with real estate. They also had, I think they also had a transport branch or something, and they had that football team. And they were going to start an amusement park because they have so much knowledge about that. Not really. There was a video actually done by somebody that went to that place, and it looks really fun. It was supposed to be like this, like a medieval fancy place or something. Lots of interesting buildings anyways were already built, but because they don't really know how to run an amusement park and they ran out of funds, it never got finished. Now, it's unlikely that they would have been able to turn that into a success anyway, because they only really know real estate. And the thing with amusement parks, just go to anybody who works for like a Disneyland or something like that, is that there is a lot more involved aside from building something. You have to actually also employ people, you have to attract a crowd that's going to come back to your place time and time again and wants to pay for your rides and stuff like that. You have to have lots of insurances because things can go wrong, and particularly when you have like amusement park with rides, things can go terribly wrong and then you can get terribly sued, and then a whole bunch of money is going to go to whoever the claimant is and stuff like that. All these different things that you normally don't have to worry about if you're just building something and then selling it. So that was a problem as well, because their owner actually is a bit of a rags to riches story. He grew up with his grandma, I think, or his aunt, one of the two, and they were poor, and so he worked his way up basically from nothing to the CEO of this gigantic corporation, and it looks like it's going back to rags. So it's going to be a rags to riches to rags story, and I do kind of feel sorry for him for that reason, but it's also like you've wasted a lot of money from people, and you knew that things could go wrong, but well, maybe he didn't know that, because some of the stuff that he's been buying, if you really look into that, because there are quite a few channels on YouTube, a few of them at least, that have gone into his backstory and what the company has been doing. There are really grand ideas, which most people would wonder if that would ever work out at all, but he did a whole bunch of them at the same time, because I guess they thought that they could. Is that called hubris? I don't know. Anyway, so that is the Chinese economy story. Meantime, here it's getting to be about Christmas. We got our Christmas care package yesterday. I think that's something that they only really do in the Netherlands. I'm not really sure. We call that a Christmas package. Not every company in the Netherlands does that anymore, but they do, like the employees do expect some type of Christmassy gift or something. So a lot of companies used to just give each employee a box, and then it has like a bunch of stuff in there, like a bottle of wine and some cheese crackers or some other snacks that you would also expect to see on the table at Christmas and stuff like that, or for stuff for Christmas dinner like napkins and candles and stuff like that. But that turned out to be too much work, because you have to first of all buy them, and that has to happen sometime in the middle of the year, and then you have to store them somewhere, and then it has to be distributed to everybody, and that can always be a bit of an issue. So a lot of companies have actually gone to giving you gift vouchers, which you can then spend only on one particular website, and then you can like spend a couple of points on certain knickknacks and stuff like that. So a lot of companies do that, but the company that I currently work for actually did do a genuine Christmas package, and it actually had a bottle of wine in it, but also a couple of bottles of beer and a can of beer and a whole lot of chocolate, because it was a special package that they put together. Well, a certain company does that, and they put like stuff in there from local businesses. So it was a lot of what do you call that again, like artistry? No, not artistry, artisan goods. That's what I'm looking for. So it's kind of like the same stuff that we do in Stardew Valley, but no cheese, just like baked goods, chocolates, beers, that type of thing. and even a letter working thing. There was like a letter strip on it with a bit of text, or in it with a bit of text on it. I'm not sure where I'm supposed to use that, but I guess it's just to let you know that they have a letter working company nearby. So that's cool, I guess. So a lot of interesting and fun stuff in there, and it's just a little gift at the end of the year, just something fun to look forward to as well. So that's always good. And we got that yesterday. So I've already eaten some of the chocolate, of course, because that's usually the first thing that I do, and had one of the beers because I don't want to get drunk in the middle of the week. Well, I don't tend to get drunk on the weekends either. I tend to only really drink during like special occasions or something. So I think on average I will drink maybe 5 beers a year, so that's not a whole lot really, because we don't have that much special occasions. Anyway, so that came in, and we have another week of work ahead, I think, after this one, and then we have a week off. Collectively, the entire company is just going to go close down between Christmas and New Year's, and after that we'll be back up again, of course. But it's just like there's so little work at the end of the year that the boss just said at some point in the past, well, you know what, we're just going to go close between Christmas and New Year's, so we have a nice week off, just free. I guess that's how things work. I don't mind that. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to that. And then we'll see about Christmas. Hope you guys are doing well, because I'm about to go and go into the store to see what's up in there. And maybe I'll see you in another video, another stream. Make sure to drop a comment in the comment section below so I know who is watching, etc. Just because I am curious about stuff like that. In any case, thanks for watching. Make sure to stay healthy, stay safe, and bye-bye for now.